Hello, welcome to the Collegewise Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. If your question is for a specific school, just make sure you name the school in your question. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening both tonight and tomorrow. Be sure to sign up for additional ones at strivescan.com/collegewise. And this presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week. Again, the same website, strivescan.com/collegewise. Here's the order in which our schools will be presenting this evening. We are in session C2. You can see I'm moving my cursor around over that box that shows the 6 institutions that will present during this session. So I've gotten all the housekeeping stuff out of the way. I'll get out of the way now. Turn it over to our first presentation from the representative from New Mexico Tech.
So hi guys, my name is Brittany. I'm from New Mexico Tech. At New Mexico Tech, we have 3 basic admission requirements. First is that you have graduated high school. Next is that your high school GPA is a 2.5 or better, and you have an ACT or SAT test score of a 21 ACT or 1070 SAT. Now, if you're transferring, we do have a cumulative GPA requirement of a 2.0, 30 credit hours, and you must be eligible to enroll in pre-calculus. Now, if you have any honors, dual credit, or IB credit, that will transfer as well, depending on what you took. We do have, if it's dual credit, we do have a transfer evaluator on site, and she looks at your transcript and determines what transfers to New Mexico Tech. We are a small school, so we have less than 2,000 students in total. Our undergraduate population is a little less than 1,500. Graduate population is a little less than 500. Our overall faculty to student ratio is 1 faculty member per 12 students. Now, because of that low ratio, that gives our professors the ability to teach hands-on. So these two pictures are from our anatomy and physiology course that is taught on campus. This is Dr. Wilkinson. He's a vet in town. This is his personal horse. He took and painted bone structures on one side and muscle structures on the other. And he teaches class outside under the trees. That's just one brief example of how our professors teach hands-on. There's many, many, many other examples that I could have picked to use. Average class size is 25. The largest class size that you'll ever see at New Mexico Tech is 60 students. The smallest class size is 1, and that's usually a directed research topic during your later semesters of your college career. These are College of Engineering programs. So it's important to note both on this slide and the next slide, any program that you see with a star next to it offers a 4+1 or a 5-year combined bachelor's and master's program. So what that means is in 5 years, you can earn both your Bachelor's of Science and your Master's of Science degrees. The way that works is your last semester, your last year as your undergrad is also your first year as a master's student. So that's when you would start work on your thesis. Now, regardless of what engineering discipline you choose to go into, you are going to be required to do a design project of varying lengths. The top 2 pictures are from mechanical engineering. That is our largest degree program. Makes up about 1/4 of our student body. We also have aerospace and biomedical engineering under mechanical engineering. Now this picture is of biomedical engineering. This is Edie. She lost all the fingers on her left hand in an accident, and our students built a prosthetic hand for her. The next picture over is the mini Baja. That's a go-kart that's redesigned by our students every year. And then they take it to competition and race against other engineering schools. The bottom picture is a concrete canoe contest. So that's our civil engineering department. They build a canoe out of concrete, and then they take it and race it against other engineering schools. These are our science programs. Much like the last slide, any program with a star next to it offers a 4+1 or a 5-year combined bachelor's and master's degree. If you're thinking about medical school, our biology department does have a 100% acceptance rate into medical school, and they've maintained that for the past 4 years. We do have psychology. Our psychology department actually awards a bachelor's of science, and that's because our psychology department actually does research. If you've ever heard of the nicotine patch, that was invented on our campus by one of our professors. Now this is our direct costs. Now the majority of you guys are looking at the non-resident tuition cost. Room and board, this is a worst case scenario. So we took the most expensive residence hall and combined it with the most expensive meal plan. If you don't do that, you can take a couple $1,000s off. Majority of our students end up paying somewhere between between $5,000 and $6,000 per year. Total cost per year. How are we going to offset that? Those scholarships. So I really want you guys to pay attention to both this slide and the next slide, because our tuition reduction scholarships stack directly on top of our first-time freshman scholarships. So all of our scholarships are merit-based, meaning they're awarded based on your GPA and test score. And they started at 3.0 and a 23. Now, if you have that, that'll stack on top of WUI. We are a WUI school, but we do have a scholarship that's better. These are out-of-state tuition reduction scholarships. So as you notice, yes, we are WUI, but we do have the competitive scholarship, which is if the student has a 3.25 GPA and a 27 ACT or a 1280 SAT, that'll stack directly on top of that. You'll be granted full in-state tuition. So what that does is it takes it from the 24 down to 8,500, give or take a little bit. And then if you receive that, the silver scholarship will stack directly on top of that as well. These are some important dates to keep in mind. So we do have Exploration Day. That's a big open house coming up. The first one is on November 7th, and the next one is on November 21st. That will be a day to kind of explore campus. We do have two of the deans speaking. We have a Dean of Science and the Dean of Engineering. Research and Tech Day is our spring open house. The only deadline that we have is March 1st, and that is for scholarships, for scholarship eligibility. And this is the last slide that I have. So you can sign up with one-on-one visits. We do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, one at 3, one from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. On the first Friday of every month, we also host an information session and virtual campus tour. What that includes is a presentation a little bit longer than the presentation you're getting today, a virtual campus tour, and a question and answer sessions with some of our staff members. And that is a link to our application. Our application is online and it is free to apply. So if you're considering New Mexico Tech, I would encourage you to apply.
Thank you very much. And I will also encourage everyone that if you have questions for any of our representatives this evening, to make sure you use the Q&A button that's on your screen to ask your question. And if it's for a specific school, make sure you name the school in your question. Up next, we will hear from the representative from St. John's College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Roper. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at St. John's College here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So also in New Mexico, some good fellow schools here today. So since I just have 6 minutes and we're a very talkative school, I figure I'll just kind of talk at you guys instead of sharing a screen for a few minutes. So we're really unique in a bunch of different ways. We're really known for kind of the background here as the Great Books College. So what that means is that everything we discuss and learn is all through reading the original writers and thinkers in every field of study. So all of our students, so all of the fields of study the entire 4 years, we actually don't ask you to major the entire time. We assume you're going to be interested in more than one thing, or maybe have no idea what you want to do, or college should be the time where you get to figure that out, you know, by actually being exposed to different things. So how that works is all of our students do all of the different fields from literature, philosophy, theology, history, politics, government, language, leadership, but also music and math and science through the original writers and thinkers in every field. So all of our classes are about 16 to 20 students in a class with 1 or 2 faculty members. One of the really cool things about St. John's is we actually call our faculty members tutors. Most of them are PhDs, published, world-renowned faculty members in their own right, but we actually ask them not to profess. So none of our classes are lecture classes. All of them are discussion-based classes, all around a wooden table. We still have chalkboards, reading the original writings of Aristotle and Einstein and you know, all of the thinkers in pretty much the foundational works of history in all these fields. So it's very much the history of knowledge, and it's kind of the original way that humans were educated for a reason. It ends up being incredibly practical, actually not majoring in one particular thing, because I think as so many of us are seeing, especially this year, you know, really careers and all of our jobs, everything is changing so quickly that it's really important to have a very flexible education and one that you do kind of have experience in a lot of different things, so that both you can make a more informed choice maybe as you go into graduate schools. About 80% of our graduates go to graduate schools. They go to the top graduate schools in every field. So in this counterintuitive way, it doesn't actually set you back not having a major. If anything, graduate schools really appreciate that you're coming with this whole wealth of knowledge. It's obviously a very different approach. And so they know St. John's, and they know kind of what we represent in this very kind of pure educational model. Again, how people used to be educated for a reason. And so because of that, our graduates go in and do everything you can possibly imagine, but a lot of them are entrepreneurs. A lot of them go right into business. They don't want to work for anyone else. It's also a really courageous education because you are doing something, you know, very different. And so because of that, our graduates really stick out in applicant pools, both for graduate schools, but also for employers as well. So the top fields that our graduates go into, education, as you can imagine, we're really excellent for because you can teach so many different fields with this background, but also definitely engineering, medical school, which is really fascinating, business, leadership, politics is really huge as well. So it doesn't actually set you back, again, in any way, not having this major. Schools really appreciate this and recognize the different skill set that you're bringing. I think it's an especially great education for young women or any students that have been minoritized by society, saying that you don't have a seat at the table. Actually, at St. John's, you're given this amazing voice that you already have, but you're given that courage to stand up and maybe push against some of the status quo that, again, I think especially this year, we're really seeing the need for. So it really equips you to have a very strong voice, whatever your arena is, as Teddy Roosevelt said, you know, with what you want to go into. So most importantly, we also have 2 campuses, one in Santa Fe, New Mexico, as I mentioned, and the other is in Annapolis, Maryland. We're actually the 3rd oldest college in the United States. We've been doing this for a very long time, and students can actually spend time on both campuses. The Annapolis campus, which was founded in 1696, is 30 acres right downtown Annapolis, walking distance to coffee shops and bookstores right on the Chesapeake Bay. So lots of water, fun sports, lots of intramurals, very close to Washington, DC and Baltimore, tons of internships. Again, good links to graduate schools, all of that. And then Santa Fe, New Mexico, somewhat randomly, we have 260 acres right in the Rocky Mountains. It's actually snowed about 5 inches in the last couple hours, which is beautiful and very Santa Fe. But we have tons of hiking trails, mountain biking, backpacking, whitewater rafting, all of that kind of stuff. And so students can spend time on both. So it's really an amazing, very unique education, obviously, but one that you can kind of span both the country and then all around the world, doing study abroad programs, things like that. We have phenomenal financial aid. Last year, we actually made headlines with the New York Times for slashing our tuition by almost $17,000, meaning that it is actually very close to in-state tuition, especially for California, you know, really after scholarships and financial aid, it's a lot of times the same as an in-state tuition. So we don't really make that distinction. It's just all on your family's finances and if you qualify for our scholarships, but you are automatically considered for them. So I think that's pretty much my time. I don't want to hog it from everyone else, but that's St. John's in a nutshell. If you're all intrigued, we have an awesome YouTube channel and our website as well.
Thank you very much, and perfectly done on the timing, by the way. And again, I'll remind everyone, Q&A button is where you can ask questions of any of our presenters. And if it's for a specific school, name the school in your question so they know it's for them. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
There we go. Having trouble with the mute button. Sorry about that. Thank you guys so much for being here this evening. My name is Tina Barr. I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I'm going to kick things off by sharing a quick video with you guys, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the schools.
Yes, data. High fluid thermal conditioning not required, Max. It's correct flight. GC, go. Guidance, go. FIDO, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. ECOM, go. FAO, go. ACO, go.
So one of the reasons I like to start off sharing that video is just so you guys get a little bit of a better sense of who we are if you're not familiar with us. But 90% of our students on either of our campuses are truly meant for undergraduate students. So either of our campuses, we have over 90% of our students are undergraduate students. So everything that you saw in the video, all the people you saw, the facilities, all of that are truly meant for our undergraduate students. So that's one of the reasons I do really like to show that to start with. So I'm going to share with you guys just a couple of quick facts. I definitely do not have enough time today to go through all of the different degrees that we have. But certainly if you're interested in building a plane, flying a plane, building a rocket, flying a rocket, those are all things that we're quite well known for. We also have the first and only College of Security and Intelligence in the nation. We also have an aerospace physiology program. That program is a phenomenal pre-med option for you. That being said, we do have two campuses. We have our Daytona Beach, Florida campus and our Prescott, Arizona campus. Definitely a little bit biased since I do live in Prescott, but we do have all 4 seasons here. And then the Daytona campus is 7,000 students, while the Prescott campus is only 3,000 students. I can tell you that this most recent graduating class did have a 94% placement rate. So amid hiring freezes, furloughs, layoffs, we still did a really fantastic job placing our graduates. So we're all in really high demand fields. And so that's certainly a very helpful thing to be aware of as well. In addition to that, the application process I'll cover just quickly. But for the application process, we are rolling admissions, which means we have started reviewing applications. We did start reviewing that in September. So it's definitely a great time to be getting that application in and thinking about that process. Over 90% of our students do receive financial aid. We are both a merit-based school, which means we don't care how much or how little your family makes. It's just based off of your merit, which are things like your GPA. We are also need-based. So we're going to look very closely at your FAFSA information when that comes into us. So that way we are that one is based on how much income your family does have. So we are, again, both merit-based as well as need-based, which is why over 90% of our students are receiving financial aid. We also do have a variety of external scholarships. I'm always happy to have more conversations about that. You are more than welcome to put any questions that you have in the chat, and I'm happy to answer that for you. Depending on which campus you are interested in will depend on which of this contact information is going to be helpful to you. But you're welcome to take a screenshot of that or take a quick photo of that with your phone. So that way you have the contact information. And the last thing I will share with you guys, you'll see I wrote contact information and PCMS. So that PCMS is $50 just for listening to me talk for roughly 6 minutes. And what I mean by that is it's simply an application fee waiver code. So instead of having to pay the $50 application fee, you can just enter in those letters for the PCMS, and that'll waive the application code. And it's just my way of saying thank you for jumping in and joining us this evening. I know it's a little bit late. So again, really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you very much. And we'll make sure everybody gets that information from that screen. As I remind everyone that if you have questions, use the Q&A button to ask questions of any of our representatives. And if it is a question for one specific school, please note that in your question so that they know it is for them. Up next, we will hear from the representative from Northern Arizona University.
Great, thank you very much. We'll see if we can get this up here for everybody to see. Hopefully you can see my video and my PowerPoint. My name is Betsy Rugg-Stassen. I am the regionally based in Southern California, admission coordinator for Northern Arizona University. Some people consider, oh, actually I'm on the wrong screen here. Hold on just one moment. I think I want to go back one. Done. Done. We're going to be staying in Arizona here tonight, just for 2 more schools here tonight to see about Arizona. Arizona, as far as where NAU is in the town of Flagstaff, it is the most northern city in major city in the state of Arizona. Sometimes they call it a pretty cool city as well too. It's actually the only major city in Arizona that has never reached 100 degrees, which is kind of unusual when you think of some other parts of the country as well too. And it can sometimes get 100 inches of snow a year. What contributes to that actually is the elevation at about 7,000 feet high. So that's why we get the weather that we get up there as well too. But there is about 260 days days of sun, 264 days of sunshine as well too. So very sunny compared to some other parts of the country as well too. It's also the world's first international dark sky city. So very clear skies at night for stargazing. Actually, Pluto was discovered in Flagstaff back in the late 1800s, a few years before NAU was founded in 1899. So it is considered a great college town as well, where it is a beautiful historic college town, only within usually about 10 to 15 minutes from campus, depending on where you are from campus as well too. It's only about 2.5 hours directly north and uphill from the Phoenix area as well. And as far as other things to do in the area as well, it's got one of the best urban trail systems in the country. If you like biking, hiking, mountain biking, camping as well, NAU is in the middle of the largest ponderosa pine forest actually in the whole world. That is why we're called the Lumberjacks up there. It started as a logging community back in the day. Many museums and art galleries as well. It's kind of considered the cultural center of the northern part of Arizona as well too. 24 city parks. You've probably heard of the Grand Canyon. NAU is very close to the Grand Canyon, perhaps even the closest university to it. Only about an hour and a half south. We're only about an hour and a half south of the Grand Canyon as well. Sedona is about 45 minutes southwest of NAU, a pretty drive, one of the prettiest drives that you'll take down to Sedona, or even just straight down to Phoenix as well too. That's what kind of sets it apart maybe from some of the other schools here tonight. We're all kind of beautiful Southwestern schools as well too. And we are on actually rolling admission as far as admission to NAU. Our application opens in July. And we're on rolling admission really through May as well too. We are test score optional. NAU has actually been test score optional for several years. So we really just concentrate on these 16 core courses for admission. Probably one of our most popular majors is engineering. We have a whole college of engineering, a school of Department of Engineering, nursing, hotel and restaurant management, especially because of where we are. In Arizona, pretty much a tourist area too. Millions of visitors drive through Flagstaff to get to other places in the beautiful Southwest. Forestry, of course, because of where we're located. Education, we started as a teacher's college back in 1899. Biomedical sciences as well, and criminal justice as well too. And we also have an honors college as well. And students can apply to our honors college after they are admitted to NAU. They're pretty much guaranteed admission if they have an unweighted core GPA in these 16 core courses. And if they're not missing any of those courses, they're unweighted GPA. And we still will consider students below a 3.0 as long as they're not missing more than one course in any two areas in this area as well too. We've got our application link to apply. You can always email me too if you want our application fee code waiver. I will send that to you as well too if you're interested as well. We also have plenty of internships, study abroad. We're kind of known for our study abroad programs too. I think we placed over 1,000 placements last year for study abroad as well. And we are part of the WUI as well too, the Western Undergraduate Exchange. With that discount, because if you are from one of the 15 to 16 states in the West, you actually would get quite a bit of a discount. It's actually a savings of over $9,000 a year than if you were a true non-resident of your state if you're in the West. It's just under $16,000 this year. All of our costs together is about $34,000 for this year. In addition to that automatic reduced tuition, no matter, there's no extra application for that. If you're accepted to NAU, you would get that reduced tuition rate, and it's for all of our 97 majors. None of them are impacted majors as well too. You can be considered, and every student is considered upon admission to NAU for one of our additional merit scholarships, the blue or the gold. Those are our two school colors. You just can't stack these two awards, but you can be considered for one or the other. The blue, if you are between a 3.0 and a 3.49 unweighted GPA in those 14 to 16 core courses, or the gold, if you have a 3.5 unweighted core GPA in those 14 to 16 core courses as well too, automatically considered for those as well. And again, test score optional for all of those scholarships as well too. But thanks for having us here tonight. We also encourage students to check out the social media at all of the colleges as well too. It's if you know any students at any of the colleges that are here tonight, it's a great time to reach out to them too as a resource, how they like it on campus too. A lot of our students are probably showing a lot of their fall pictures of the aspens changing to beautiful gold this time of year too, and just some of the fun things that they do on the weekends too. So always check out the social media at the colleges that you're looking at as well too. If you can visit as well too, that's always a great thing to do at the colleges too. We have a lot of our virtual visit information right on our website as well too. You can come in person. We just can't give you the official tour right now, but we're an open campus like many campuses out there. So we encourage you to visit. Our admission office and our welcome center is open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Of course, we want you to stay safe and healthy as well too. But yeah, if you have any questions, we can throw them in the Q&A later. And we're going to continue in Arizona. I'm going down the hill to my counterpart in Tempe.
Thank you very much. And I will remind everyone really quickly to ask questions using the Q&A button of any of our presenters this evening. And as was foretold, we will now hear from the representative from Arizona State University.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is David Mills. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at Arizona State University. And as I've now been introduced twice, which is fantastic, thanks guys, I work for Arizona State University, the Sun Devils. We are in Phoenix, Arizona, the 5th largest city in the country and the state capital in Arizona. So a lot happening on campus, which we'll talk about tonight, but also a lot happening off campus in that city to help our students out as well. So the first thing I want to touch on is our charter. This drives literally everything at ASU. It's our core mission and values. It's what we live our lives by here and make our decisions. So one of the key parts of all that, I'll let you read it, but is that we measure ourselves by whom we include and how they succeed. We do not want to be exclusive or competitive or selective. That's not the mission of a public university. We want to be inclusive and get everyone in that we can. Like NAU, our admission requirements, we offer guaranteed admission if a student meets our core academic criteria. And then we want to make sure that no matter how many students choose to come study at ASU, that we're helping them be successful in what comes next. And you can see here, we've actually done pretty well with that. Last year, 89% of our graduates were employed or had a job offer within 90 days of graduating. So seeing some great stuff there. And a lot of that comes because of the internship and the job opportunities that they find outside of campus in that big city of Phoenix. And we have a ton of great connections, internship services, career services, and ways to help students build that resume while they're in school and then be ready and competitive when they graduate from ASU. A few other things I want to brag about before we get into some more of the details of the college experience at ASU and what we offer. One is that we've been #1 in the US for innovation for the last 6 years in a row, ahead of some very strong competition like MIT and Stanford. And I think that speaks volumes about these other numbers you see up here. Top 5 in the country for public universities in undergraduate education, kind of a big deal for what you're coming to college for. And of course, your first year experience. We want to make sure our first year students are successful, they're engaging, they're getting that education, which is obviously at the core of everything else you're doing. So we're very proud of those numbers and the success our students are finding both during their experience at ASU and then of course, after they leave our campus. So we are a big university. We have 75,000 undergraduate and graduate students on campus, which seems a little crazy at first. We never want that to negatively impact our students though. So we want them to have the benefits of a big university without the drawbacks. If you look at our student to faculty ratio at ASU, even though we have 75,000 students, our student to faculty ratio is only 18 to 1. So just know, we want to shrink that down, but it means you have some really great opportunities. We have over 350 majors to choose from. We have over 1,000 clubs and organizations to get involved in. We are a big athletic school, so the school spirit, the excitement, the game day energy, that all comes with being a Pac-12 Division I university. We're also a big research university, a top-tier Research I institution. So a lot of ways to get into your major outside of the classroom. Get involved, build your resume, and hopefully do what you love. And of course, the big campus also means a lot of diversity. And that's students from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, ethnicities. We have students from all 50 states in the US and about 136 countries around the world. So literally, you will be surrounded by that diversity, and it's pretty incredible. Something a lot of students don't realize at ASU is that we have 4 campuses in the Phoenix metro area. This is a little different than a lot of universities, but just know that our 350 majors are spread out across those campuses. Every campus has everything you need for 4 years to graduate and be just fine. Housing, libraries, rec centers, classes, labs, research, all those things. But if there is something at another campus you want to do, like a football game or a speaker or a fun class, you're able to do that. It's all connected by a free shuttle for students 7 days a week. And you're a Sun Devil no matter what campus you're based at. So you can be as involved or not involved as you want across those 4 campuses. But just be aware that depending on what you choose to study, you might be at a very large campus, a very small campus, or something in between. There's a lot of great options. Definitely spend some time on our website taking a look at this because there's something for literally almost every type of student at ASU. We also have a fantastic honors college. Barrett is one of the top honors colleges in the nation. It is a separate and competitive application, but if you're the type of student right now who's doing AP or IB or a lot of honors classes at your high school, you really value that community and that education, definitely check out the honors college. It's a fantastic opportunity. And here, just as a map of the Phoenix metro area, if you're from not in the Southwest, you might really appreciate the average 75-degree temperature that we have in Phoenix. In the summer, it is very hot. We are the desert, but in the winter, it's typically gorgeous weather for school. And again, some bragging points about how great the city is and just a visual representation of where those 4 campuses are where you might study. Now, I don't have much time left, but I just really quickly want to give you a whirlwind tour of how to actually apply and become a Sun Devil. You have 3 options to apply. Any of those will work. We look at them all equally, so whatever is most convenient for you. We are test optional and always have been. Very similar coursework and GPA requirements to NAU, actually, if you saw that slide. So just know, apply, pay your application fee, get all your academics in, and you will be good to go. We also have a lot of great academic merit scholarships. Those are automatic when you're admitted to ASU. So those are the best way to make ASU more affordable for out-of-state students right off the bat. They are renewable for your scholarships, and we are also part of the Western Undergraduate Exchange, but not for every major. So definitely check out our WUI website to take a look at that as well. And with that, I will leave you with our virtual visit slide. If you want to learn more about ASU, check out our visit website that's right there. We have a ton of great options that are way better than listening to me talk for just 6 minutes. So with that, I will turn it over to our next presenter.
Thank you very much. I will take the time real quick to remind everyone that you still have time to ask questions using the Q&A button, whether it's a general question for everyone or a specific question to one representative from the school. Just make sure you name the school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Hi, I'm going to put this in. Can you guys see the presentation or is it in presenter mode?
It is a presentation.
Perfect. Sounds good. Sometimes it goes into presenter mode. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us on this late evening. I am Kelsey from UNLV, from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'll be talking about UNLV today. I'm a senior admissions coordinator in our office. I've been in the office for a while, so I was a student tour guide myself. I grew up in the Las Vegas area and attended UNLV and graduated from UNLV as a student. So I have a lot of information about Las Vegas and about the campus. So if you do have questions as we're going through this, feel free to let me know. But if you have questions after, you can always feel free to reach out to me via email as well. UNLV is a large public state university, so we have about 26,000 students on campus. Even though we are considered a large public state university, if you were to actually come to the campus, it doesn't feel that big. The campus itself is just one main campus and it's extremely walkable. So it's a very easily accessible campus, and our average class size is actually 30. So most of our classrooms are housed within the classroom building complex that hosts over 50% of our classroom space, and those classrooms max out at about 60 students. We have very few lecture halls on our campus, so you're not going to find that you're in a lot of very big campus spaces. The campus itself is very small, even though you get the benefits of being at a large school. This is kind of an aerial overview shot of the campus. If you want to see more of our campus, we do offer virtual tours you can sign up for as well. UNLV has been consistently ranked as one of the most diverse institutions in the country, so that's something that we're really proud of. Over the last several years, we've been ranked fluctuating between number 1 and 2. We're number 2 this year, but something we're really proud of at UNLV. If you've ever been to Las Vegas is a very diverse city in general. We have people that come from all over the world to live in Las Vegas, to visit Las Vegas, lots of different cultural backgrounds in Las Vegas. So lots of just people from all over, and that really transcends right into the university as well. So UNLV is a very diverse campus. You're bound to find somebody who comes from a very different background than you. This map that you're looking at gives you an idea of where we get students from outside of the US. So we do have a pretty large international student population. Our international student population is in part due to our College of Hospitality. So our hospitality program is ranked #1 in the US and #2 in the world. So we get students that come from all over to come and study in our hospitality program. I know sometimes in high school, it's hard to like conceptualize what hospitality might be, especially maybe if you didn't grow up in Las Vegas. I grew up here, so it's easy. Hospitality is right in the backyard, but it's kind of like a specialized business degree. Those students get a lot of hands-on experience in the industry. They are required to have work experience to graduate, and about 90% of those students are graduating with jobs 6 months out and mostly in managerial positions. So the College of Hospitality is doing great things if that's something you're interested in. We also have over 300 programs and majors. So our hospitality program is something we're known for, but you can choose between a lot of different things. We are the only university in Las Vegas, so we serve just about every type of program and industry that exists. So depending on what you want to study, whether that be the health sciences, we have a school of nursing, we have a pre-professional biology program and a school of medicine. We have a school of law at UNLV that has the #1 legal writing program in our law school. So we have a great law program. We have a dental school, physical therapy school. So lots of graduate programs if that's something you're kind of thinking about in your future. If you want to go on after your bachelor's degree and do more, it's always a good idea to be exposed to those programs as an undergraduate as well. We do also have an honors college. So our honors college is small and selective. There's just about 1,000 students in the honors college compared to our 26,000 students on campus. And they have average class sizes about 20, and they're very hands-on with their students, very heavily involved in discussions and research. So if that's something you're interested in, they also do their own presentations, and you can jump in and join one of those if that was something you wanted to check out. UNLV is a research institution. So I know when I was in high school, the word research kind of sounded intimidating, and I didn't really understood what that meant when colleges said that to me. But it means when you're in college, a lot of your faculty, your professors, your teachers, they're involved in things outside of the classroom that make them experts in what they're doing, and a lot of the times involved in research in their field. So if that's something you want to get involved in and have that hands-on experience, you can get connected with the Office of Undergraduate Research, and they'll help you to connect with faculty members on campus. We also have a very large internship program. Being in Las Vegas, we're very connected with the city and helping our students to be able to get jobs and internships while they're students. It's very fortunate to be able to be in an area where you have the ability to get an internship and go to school in the same day. Lots of fun things to do on campus. We're Division I in athletics. We have free student tickets to all of our home games for our students. So that's a fun thing for students to do. We have over 400 clubs and organizations on campus, Greek life, student government. So you name it, we probably have it on campus. And I'm going to jump into our admissions requirements and WUI information here as we just jump into the last few minutes. I know this is important for you guys. So UNLV is on the Common App, and we are on our own application as well. So you can submit either of those applications to UNLV. We are not a highly selective institution. So as long as you meet our admissions requirements, you're going to get admitted to UNLV. Just need a 3.0 core academic GPA and 13 core academic units. So we look for 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of science, and 3 years of social science, and we're able to admit you to UNLV. We have the WUI program right here, and the WUI is also not selective and it's not restricted. So any student in any major can study under the WUI program. We require a 3.25 unweighted GPA to award the WUI to students, and you can also get the WUI on top of other federal financial aid you qualify for, other scholarships that we have as well. Our application priority deadline for scholarships is swiftly approaching here on November 1st. So we encourage you to get your application in soon if you're a senior. And if you're a junior or you're just still checking us out, you can sign up to learn more about UNLV at our events page, or you can email me as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have in the future. Our event page has a lot of different sessions for our majors. So if you want to learn more about any program, the Honors College, a little bit, have a more in-depth info session, then you can jump on that event page and sign up for one of those. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. And as I'm going to ask each of our representatives to come back on camera and turn on their microphones. And I'm just going to do a quick little round robin Q&A over the last 3-4 minutes that we have left. That'll give us time for questions to get answered in the Q&A that have already been asked, just to do that. But really quickly, we'll go in the order that you presented. And the question I have is a fun one. It's, what is your favorite campus and or school tradition? And we will start with New Mexico Tech.
So we have our version of homecoming. It's called 49ers. It takes place in October. Like a lot of other universities, we do have a mountain with a letter on it. Ours is an M. 364 days of the year, the mountain is closed. It is open one day a year, and it's for the Paint the M run that takes place over 49ers. So it's about a 3-mile hike up to the top. Some students opt to carry a 50-pound bag of like the field chalk. When they get up to the end, they throw it on the M to help keep it white. And there is a cash prize for the first 5 students up the mountain that are carrying the bag of chalk.
St. John's College.
Okay, first of all, that sounds awesome. So for us, obviously, we're a very literary, nerdy college, so our traditions are pretty nerdy too. Basically, what I love most is when the seniors all turn in their senior papers, which is kind of like your focus thesis and final project. All the students ring the official college bell in the bell tower right after that, and then there's a lovely kind of party with the president and waltz dancing and all of that kind of stuff.
Sounds fantastic. Next up, we'll have Embry-Riddle Aeronautical.
So we may not have a football team here, but for our big fall event, we do have a very winning team here. In fact, the winningest flight team in the nation. And so in the fall, we have a massive event called October West, and it draws people from all over. And we do massive flyovers, some great flight competitions. You'll see skydivers in crazy costumes. So that is definitely my favorite event that we have on our campus.
Sounds cool. Northern Arizona University.
Yeah, it's hard to think of just one, and I'm not on campus too much, being a regional too, but I do know we do have True Blue Fridays, because our colors are blue and gold, so everyone wears blue on Fridays. That's kind of a tradition for them to do as well. During homecoming, they do a nice parade, and because it's such a college town and it's right next to the downtown, they do their homecoming parade all the way down through downtown. So there's really a sense of community with the town and with NAU too, and usually on every student's bucket list is to go to the Grand Canyon at least once before they graduate, because it is only an hour and a half away, so they'll do that too.
Fantastic. Arizona State University.
Yeah, I think my favorite tradition at ASU is what we call the Lantern Walk. It also takes place around homecoming, and it also takes place with our big mountain with our big letter A on it. But the Friday night before the big homecoming football game on Saturday, everyone from the students, the staff, the faculty, everybody waits till dark, hikes up at night with lanterns and lights up the entire hill and announces homecoming royalty and talks about what's been going on for the last 100 years at ASU. It's over 100 years old, and it's just a really cool tradition to kind of walk where Sun Devils have walked before you.
That's cool. And last but not least, Nevada, Las Vegas.
Mine is going to be Premier UNLV. So that's one of the first events we have. It's usually the first week of school. It's a big kickoff event. It's on our intramural fields. There's usually a stage with a DJ, and they give out free t-shirts, free food. And it's just a really great way to kind of meet people your first week of classes, because I know that can kind of be scary.
Definitely. Well, thank you all for sharing those cool and fun traditions from each of your schools. And thank you for sharing all of the great information tonight about each of your institutions. And I want to thank everyone for joining us for this session. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted. More sessions will be hosted tomorrow. Be sure to sign up for additional ones at strivescan.com/collegewise. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings. Again, same website, strivescan.com/collegewise. Once again, I want to thank each of our 6 presenters tonight for joining us and taking the time to share all that great information. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday evening. Take care.